Lillard, long range three, and it's good! Lillard.
Who would have thought a first round series between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Portland Trail Blazers would create the biggest what if in NBA history in Los Angeles? For Paul George to end up in Los Angeles, a lot of things had to go right and a lot of things had to go wrong. If you guys remember, PG was coming off an MVP type of year. Is Kawhi Leonard still making that phone call to recruit him if that wasn't the case? PG was willing to leave that OKC Thunder team because he got banged up throughout the year and there just wasn't enough talent on that squad and they weren't able to be taken seriously in the West. But with Paul George coming off his best season yet and Kawhi Leonard fresh off a championship, the entire basketball world had their eyes on the Clippers for the first time in NBA history to be the favorite to win an NBA championship. I mean, I think I can speak for a majority of the NBA world as we watched Game 7 Philly vs Raptors in Toronto as Kawhi hit that fadeaway shot with Embiid and Ben Simmons on him and watched that ball hit every part of the rim. I caught chills as it dropped through the net and the whole city of Toronto went crazy. After previously dealing with injuries on the Spurs, that shot reassured his dominance in the league and I think we were all confident in saying that Kawhi was the best player in the world in that moment. Then Kawhi goes on to beat the Bucks in 6 games, then brings the city of Toronto their first NBA championship and got Drake talking crazy. But I say all that to say the amount of motion that Kawhi Leonard and Paul George had previously to landing in LA for the first time was absolutely insane. Not to mention the supporting cast that they had surrounding their 2 stars in Patrick Beverley, Lou Will, Montrezl Harrell, Landry Shamet, Marcus Morris. I mean, they had a squad, Terrence Mann. Imagine having 2 20-point scorers coming off your bench. That's the luxury that the 2020 Los Angeles Clippers had. It's crazy because we didn't realize that this would be a rarity for the entire Clippers roster to be healthy in the postseason. But not only that, this was perfect for Kawhi to have a long postseason run. He had months off due to the pandemic, resting, preparing his body, preparing his mind for what's to come. But yet, for some reason, the Clippers did not take the bubble seriously, ultimately leading to the Clippers choking a 3-1 lead to the Denver Nuggets, and Kawhi definitely didn't have his mind on basketball because he put up a stinker. I mean, this brother shot 6 of 22 from the field, finishing with 14 points. Absolutely abysmal. And Paul George wasn't any better as he shot 4 of 16 from the field, 2 of 11 from 3. These were the pandemic P days. Yeah, there's some dark times. You did not want to get on Twitter after one of those. Year 2 of PG and Kawhi. In the regular season, Kawhi only plays in 52 games, and Paul George, he only plays in 54. They load managed the crap out of this season, only for the postseason to come, and Kawhi injures his ACL halfway through the Utah Jazz series, leaving Paul George to put the load on his shoulders, which he does get through, thankfully, to Terrence Mann's incredible game where he absolutely exposed Rudy Gobert. But I gotta chill on Rudy Gobert. I do have to serve him an apology for how he's performed this year. PG and the boys do take the Phoenix Suns to Game 6, but they ultimately lose, and that is 2 back-to-back failing seasons for the Los Angeles Clippers. Year 3 of PG and Kawhi ultimately leads to a throwaway season because Kawhi misses the entire year with the torn ACL, and PG struggles with injuries throughout the year, only playing in 31 games. Great production you're getting from your 2 stars in the early 30s, huh? Now, year 4 of the PG and Kawhi experiment. I mean, everybody was saying last season that the Clippers were the deepest team in the West. I mean, they got Kawhi and Paul George, of course, not to mention Vaka Zubac, Marcus Morris. They got Norman Powell, Reggie Jackson. They have Terrence Mann, Nick Batum, Luke Kennard, Robert Covington, Bones Highland, and later in the season they acquire Russell Westbrook. Westbrook. They had a squad. The bare minimum is at least a Western Conference Finals appearance, right? Nope, I was wrong again. Paul George only plays in 56 games, Kawhi only plays in 52, but PG misses the playoffs entirely, and Kawhi only plays in 2 games. Hey, but I mean, Russ was going off in the time he was on the floor though, right? I mean, that's what counts. Hey, as a Russell Westbrook fan, I'm happy he reestablished his value in that playoff series, especially with everything he went through with the Lakers. But the Clippers ultimately get eliminated in the first round. Get about what Giannis talking about. The Clippers has had a failing season every single year since the duo linked up in LA. Now comes this year, and I'm not gonna lie guys, trading for James Harden probably accelerated how fast Steve Ballmer is gonna blow this team up. Not only is their defense so bad, and it won't get any better because they done trade away every player on their roster that was capable of being a good point of attack defender. It seems like the stars that they were relying on are no longer reliable. I think we can all agree that Kawhi Leonard has took a step back on both offense and defense. James Harden, the system player, is having a system error because he's been pretty mid, to be honest, since he landed in LA. Russell Westbrook has been doing Russell Westbrook things off the bench. It seems like Paul George is the only reliable player on this entire Clippers team, bro. I mean, I had to say a prayer for the Clippers fans out there, man. They lost to the Denver Nuggets without Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and Eric Gordon. How did Reggie Jackson drop 35 points and 13 rebounds on this team? How did DeAndre Jordan have 21 points in an NBA game at this point in his career? I mean, I even wanted to put Ty Lue in the hot seat because of what I'm seeing, but it's not even fair to him. He's never been given a fair roster since he took this job in LA. What are the Clippers doing, man? I'm telling you, by the trade deadline, this team is going to blow it up. And if you guys didn't know about my tone of voice, I do not have this team making the playoffs. But with that being said, guys, let me know what you think of this Los Angeles Clippers team and their plans going forward. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, comment down below, turn on post notifications to not miss a single video, and I'll see y'all next video.